While renovating my house, I uncovered a crawl space. The journal inside had entries about me. I've only been living here for a month. It's not much, but I got the place for a good price. Definitely a fixer-upper. It's in a good, quiet neighborhood, so to me, it was a no-brainer. I'm pretty handy and know my way around a set of tools, so I figured I could do most of the physical work that needed to be done. Some carpet and drywall replacing was the first thing on my list. It's a fairly small house, so I knew I would be able to do most of it on my own. The first week was fine. Ripped up the living room carpet and threw on a fresh coat of paint. The days were long, but the work was definitely paying off. I'd do most of the self-renovations when I got home from work, so by the time I was finished, each day my bed was calling my name. Every night, when I lay down to sleep, I would hear a light scratching noise. It sounded like it was coming from the inside of my wall in the bedroom, which only meant one thing. I definitely had rodents. The house was old, and the people that lived here before me did a horrible job with keeping up the maintenance. Unfortunately, there wasn't much I can do. Funds were already tight as it is, and I couldn't afford an exterminator at the moment. At first I tried to ignore it, and just told myself I would get to it when I could. The next few nights were very similar. Day job, renovations, sleep. After a monstrous week of hard work, something strange happened. The light scratching I'd grown used to hearing suddenly stopped. At first I didn't notice, but that night, as I lie in bed, I realized the house was completely silent. I held my breath, waiting. Nothing. For the first time in weeks, I relaxed. Silence. Pure, beautiful silence. I was just starting to drift off when I heard it again. Not from my bedroom, though. From the guest bedroom across the hall. Just when I thought maybe I lucked out, I was brought back to the harsh reality that is owning a house. I took off of work the next day to finish some more projects around the house. There was just a few more minor things that had to be taken care of. After working most of the day, I grabbed myself a bite to eat and called my buddy Mike. I've been so damn busy with the house it's hard to keep up with my social life. Mike was a handyman himself, so any questions I had regarding the house, I knew I could run by him.
Dude, how's the house coming along?
Mike asked. Honestly, looking better each day. It's just extremely time-consuming. Oh, and by the way, is it normal to just feel like I'm bleeding money?
Ah, yes. Welcome to the sweet world of home ownership,
He said with a laugh. Quick question. Have you ever dealt with mice around your house? I swear I'm hearing them in the walls.
Nah, man, that's ghosts. You got ghosts.
Yeah, well, maybe they can get rid of the mice. We talked for a bit longer before he let me get back to the last of my home improvements. The last project I had to tackle was the guest room. I had to rip up the carpet and take down some horrible wallpaper. I was just about to walk into the guest room when I noticed my bedroom door was cracked open. I know for sure that I closed it. It became a force of habit since I was a teenager. Whenever I left my room, I closed the door behind me. I thought maybe my exhaustion was catching up to me. I could not wait to finish this damn house. The carpet came up no problem. The wallpaper was a different story. That took me forever. The last of the wallpaper was in the closet. I was just about halfway through removing the wallpaper from the closet when I came across the crawl space. It had been completely covered, and when I saw it, I admit I was taken by surprise. I used my phone flashlight to peer through, and that's when I saw it. The mice droppings. I knew it. I knew something was crawling around back there. I was relieved I wasn't going crazy. Just as I was about to close it back up, I noticed something in the far corner. Pillows and a blanket. Old and dusty. Remnants of the past, no doubt. There was something else, though. A book. Some sort of journal. It was covered with dust, and the pages were withered. This thing had been in here for a while. I read the first entry. Entry 1. I'm always alone. Nobody ever sees how I'm doing. I love them. Why don't they notice me? I flipped through a few more entries, each written in the same messy handwriting. Entry 3. Sometimes I hear them moving around upstairs. I wish I could be there with them. I miss being a part of things. Entry number 5. I saw them leave this morning. The house gets so quiet when they're gone. Entry number 6. I like this little hideout. It's like I can escape reality. like all of my troubles on the other side of this wall. I couldn't tell if the person was lonely, delusional, or just writing some kind of creepy story. The entries were strange, but not outright threatening. Still, something about that line. The house gets so quiet when they're gone. Strange. I set the journal down and grabbed my phone.
Yo,
Mike answered.
don't tell me you found the ghost.
Not quite, but get this, I said, holding back a laugh. I was ripping down the wallpaper in the guest closet, right? Found a little crawl space, mice droppings, nasty as hell, but I also found this old-ass journal.
Journal?
Yeah, listen to this. The house gets so quiet when they're gone, I said in my best spooky narration voice. Mike cracked up.
Bro, what kind of psycho used to live there?
Who knows? I probably just uncovered the tragic backstory of some weirdo shut in. Maybe they got locked in and never made it out.
Better stop reading that thing out loud at night. That's how all the horror movies start.
Please. The only thing haunting me right now is the cost of this drywall. We both laughed for a while before hanging up. But even after I put my phone down, I caught myself glancing at that open crawl space again. The journal was just sitting there, in a beam of my flashlight, half open like it was waiting for me to read the next page. My house was finally finished. Well, it was finished enough for me. I needed to relieve some stress, and I figured there was no better way than to have a little housewarming party. I invited a few friends just for some food, drinks, and laughs. While waiting for the food to be delivered, Mike had the best idea. Go ahead and get that journal, man. Read us some bedtime stories, he said over the laughter. There was some confused looks from my other friends, not knowing what he was referring to. Yeah, he found it in an old crawl space. Thing looks prehistoric. After some sarcastic cheering and egging on, I decided to appease the crowd. I cleared my throat and flipped to a random page. Entry 47. I've been here for a while now. I think I like what they've done to my place. It feels like home, finally. Amazing work. Keep going, said someone in a patronizing tone. I continued further. Entry 62. They're finally leaving. I did my part to make sure they knew it was time to go. Got it all to myself. All right. One more for the night, I said. I turned towards the end of the journal. Entry 59. He is changing everything. This is my house, patching up walls and ripping up carpet. Bullshit. These are my memories he is painting over. He leaves a lot. This gives me a lot of time to plan. He needs to know this house belongs to me. This was unsettling. This felt wrong. I felt a lump in my throat. I glanced over at Mike just as I finished the last 3 words. He was just sitting there with a goofy smile. Very funny, you asshole. Trying to spook me? He must have snuck a personal entry in there when he was helping me set up for the party. The guy was never serious. We kind of laughed it off and continued on with the night. The food was great. The drinks were even better. My last few friends there said goodbye, and it was time for me to get some much-needed sleep. After cleaning up a bit, I crawled into bed. It didn't take long for me to fall asleep. I thought I was dreaming when I heard it. I wasn't sure if it was coming from the walls. Then I heard it again. A door. I knew it was a door. My door? I got up to check what the hell was going on, and then I heard it again. It was not from my door. The guest room. It was coming from the guest room. I opened my bedroom door and stepped into the hallway. I swung the guest room door open. I stood there, trying to hear something. The house was quiet. I could only hear my own heavy breathing. Another knock. It was coming from the closet. Did I leave the crawlspace door open again? Did I leave a window open? Was a draft coming through? All thoughts that ran through my head in the half second since I heard the knocking. I took another step forward, the floorboards groaning under my feet. The closet door stood slightly open, and I could see the edge of the crawlspace panel inside. I reached out a hand to push the door fully open, feeling a little ridiculous as I whispered, "Hello?" Into the dark. In the same heartbeat, the door exploded open. A figure burst out of the closet, a shadow lunging at me with a flash of steel in their hand. Before I could even shout out, a knife slashed through the air, grazing my arm and sending a jolt of pain through me. Adrenaline took over. I stumbled back, trying to put distance between us, but the attacker was on me in a heartbeat. I barely registered the pain as I twisted away and bolted for the window. My only thought was escape. I jumped and hurled myself through it, crashing into the ground outside. Pain shot up my leg as I landed hard, but I didn't stop. I limped as fast as I could towards my neighbor's house, my heart pounding louder than ever. That's where I called the cops, breathless, bleeding, and finally forced to admit that something far worse than mice had been living in my walls. In the end, the police found the crawlspace exactly as I'd left it, except for the journal lying open on that final entry. There was no sign of the attacker, and no explanation of how they'd been living under there, just unnoticed. But I knew what I'd seen. The journal's final words were buried into my mind. This house will always be mine. I moved out of there next week. Whatever haunted that house, whoever had claimed it as their own. I wasn't sticking around to find out what happened next.